Hey, what's up, everybody? Big storms rolling through the Central Plains. Actually, Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, of course, Texas. We're going to be following these storms that are producing some tornadoes, and it's just getting started. This is a huge storm system. Hang on just a second. I'm getting my radars up, and we're going to go after them. There's also a big storm over in the Indian Ocean that is probably going to be reminiscent of Hurricane Harvey. We're going to check that out. Massive storm that's probably going to end up being over 1,000 miles wide. Big hurricane or cyclone. It's already named, and it's only May 16th. And it's early, especially for that part of the world. We've got one over here off the coast of Florida that's about to become named. It could affect North Carolina. Unreal. So here we go. What we're looking at is the GOES 16. I want to show you guys where we're focusing at right now over here in the United States. See the storm activity? It's rotating counterclockwise. It's a large system that's anchored over Texarkana, basically. That storm system moved south last night, and now it's turning towards the east and north. Look at it. It is huge. It's like looks like a big comet coming into the earth right there. Look at that thing. Off the coast of Florida, you've got a storm brewing. That's a tropical cyclone, or soon to be. It's not named yet, but more than likely will be. This storm here has been named. It's over in the Bay of Bengal. This storm, they keep up in the ante, so to speak, if you will. This thing here is probably going to be reminiscent of a Hurricane Harvey. No joke. This thing here has got everything in its favor. It's rapidly intensifying, and now they've got the estimated category at Category 3. Was a Category 1. I fully expect this one to go to Category 4 quite easily. Like I said, it's got everything in its favor. It's a very strong low pressure that's going to slowly move north. And again, that's over in the Bay of Bengal. They're going to see biblical flooding in parts of India, Burma, Myanmar. Unbelievable. And that's a sign of things to come over here in the States. We're going to see I think it's going to be a record hurricane season. I really strongly believe that, based off of a lot of different things. A lot of different things, especially the sea surface temperature. Tornado warning here expires in 10 minutes from the National Weather Service out of Little Rock, Arkansas. Tornado warning for Clark County and Pike County, southwestern Arkansas, until 7:15 p.m. Hazard tornado, radar indicated rotation. And let's look and see. Torrential rainfall is occurring with this storm, could lead to flash flooding, and that is happening right now. Rain's coming down at staggering rates in the area of Murfreesboro, and that's over in Arkansas. That's where we're at right there. Arkadelphia, be south and west of that, near Prescott. And that's just above the border in southern Arkansas. Tornado warning. Storm systems moving to the northwest at about 35 miles per hour. They're pretty average compared to what we've seen in the past. Yeah, 35 miles per hour. Over here on the right, we're looking for rotation. And yeah, there is rotation right by my cursor. Right there. Just south and west of Delight, Arkansas. So if you're in that area, you need to find an interior room with no glass. Preferably a basement would be perfect, because there's definitely a tornado on radar. Let's put it this way, rotation. It's got intake right there. That's a classic tornado signature. Absolutely. Southern Arkansas. Flash flooding all around this area. It's a counterclockwise moving storm system. Check this out. That is a freak of nature almost. This weird looking storm. This one here is going to be one to deal with right here. This is what's coming this year in the northern hemisphere. This thing here is a titanic storm. It's going to fill the entire Bay of Bengal. Look at that thing. And that's just came on in the last 48 hours. That thing is massive. It's over 1,000 miles wide right now, aesthetically. The Bay of Bengal is 800 miles wide. You can see for yourself how big that storm is. Absolutely massive. Unreal. So they're going to see biblical flooding up here in the Bay of Bengal in the next probably 48 hours. People in Bangladesh, northeastern India, along that coast, Myanmar, all through here. They're already seeing the outer bands. And this is a big, slow-moving storm. Oh, my. That's what's happening in North America this year. No joke. Right there. Going to be a lot of storms like that. I have a strong feeling. And I'll show you why here in a minute. Need to follow these storms over here in the United States. We've got all kinds of flash flooding going on from just north of St. Louis, down through Little Rock, Texarkana, into, looks like the Texas-Arkansas border, even over into Oklahoma. Flash flooding, and it's not going away anytime soon. These storms are moving rather slowly compared to what we've been seeing. National Weather Service out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Tons of counties. Northwestern Hempstead County, Howard County, Little River County, Sevier County, Central McCurtain County. Until 8:30 p.m., that would be local time. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Flooding of small creeks, streams, urban areas, highways, streets, and underpasses, as well as other drainage and low-lying areas. Doesn't say how much rain has fallen as of yet, but I saw somewhere earlier where it was coming down at like 2-3 inches per hour. That's a pretty good clip for a thunderstorm. That's what's going to happen with that hurricane over in the Bay of Bengal. They're going to see 2-3 inch per hour rain rates for 30 hours. Are you serious? 30 hours of rain. It's simple math will tell you that's going to create a catastrophic flood in some parts of that area. If it rains a measly 2 inches per hour on average for 30 hours, well, hello, Harvey. Hello, Hurricane Harvey. That's what that's going to be like. Wow. And that's what we're going to see in the Northern Hemisphere. We got several months of those types of storms. Tornado warning in effect for another 5 minutes. National Weather Service out of Little Rock. That's where we're at down here in southwestern Arkansas. Tornado warning. This is one of several that I've seen. I've already seen 3. This is number 3. And there's probably going to be more. There was rotation in this storm system that was right over here south of Murfreesboro, south of Delight. In fact, it was headed between the two, right there, between Murfreesboro and Delight. Didn't say it was on the ground, but there was rotation in that cell right there. These storms are probably in the, let's see, 40,000 foot range. Yeah, 40, 50,000 foot storms. Those are hail producers, not necessarily huge hail, but they're producing rotation, which causes tornadoes. I can see it right there. Where the bright green meets the bright red, that's rotation. And that's what we're looking for. A lot of flooding. There's a Clarksville. Where is that? Clarksville, Texas? Yeah, I learn something new every time I come on here. Clarksville, Texas is right on the edge of this flash flood warning. DeKalb, that would be in the northeastern corner of Texas, and you can see this thing rotating counterclockwise. It's anchored right in the area of Tyler, Texas. You can see the low is parked right here. See it? Rotating counterclockwise. This thing's going to be huge. There's going to be a lot of rain here, guys. I mean, we're talking a big rain event right here. Wow. Probably 5, 6, 7 inches could come out of this storm because it's rotating counterclockwise. Oh, wow. Moving very, very slowly. Big heads up in this area for some heavy rain. That's going to be equally as dangerous as some of these potential tornadoes, is the flooding. Big time flooding. New severe thunderstorm warning from the National Weather Service out of Little Rock, Arkansas until 7:30 p.m. local time. Severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from near Crater of Diamonds State Park. Never heard of that. Near Okolona to near Wheeling Springs, moving north at 35 miles an hour, 60 mile an hour wind gusts, and quarter-size hail. It's moving along at a pretty good clip. Got a tornado watch in effect until 9 p.m. for the entire county, this whole area, because of this counterclockwise rotating squall line, basically, of supercell thunderstorms. A lot of these are supercells. See right there. That's a cell. That's a supercell right there. There's 1, 2, 3. There's several in here. These are tall boys. They call them tall walkers. All the green you see are flash flooding, and it's just getting started. There's another Clarksville. How many Clarksvilles are there? There's Clarksville, Arkansas, Clarksville, Tennessee, Clarksville, Texas. Good Lord. A lot of Clarksvilles. Wow, this is going to be a big-time flooding event. Big-time rain moving through this area here. Let's go over to the good guys and gals at windy.com. That storm right there is one to watch. Look at the size of that thing. That's absolutely massive. Unreal. And here's what we're dealing with over here. Off the southeastern coast of the United States. See that storm system right there? That could affect North Carolina. It could affect New Jersey in the next couple of days. It may blend with another low pressure, almost creating what they call the Fujiwara effect. You may see that off the coast of New Jersey here in a couple days. This low pressure system right here doesn't look like much right now, but that's about to become a potential named storm from the National Hurricane Center. That right there. Tropical Depression 1. Maximum sustained winds 30 knots, 35 miles per hour. Right now it's got a central low of 1,008. That's not very low at all. Compared to the storm over in the Bay of Bengal that could potentially get down to 930 millibars. Incredible. What we're looking at over here, we're watching this storm right now roll through Louisiana, Texarkana, obviously Arkansas, Ozarks up in Missouri, getting hammered right now with very heavy rain in the Joplin area, Springfield, Missouri, Nevada, Missouri. In fact, all of Missouri getting rain right now of some degree. Very heavy rainfall through here. Fort Smith, Fayetteville, that would be in the Arkansas area. This is a big deal right here. Big rainmaker. Let's see how much they're predicting. I don't even know, to be honest with you. Just tell by looking at these clouds. 5 inches, what's being forecasted? How about in the next 24 hours? Yeah, 5 inches near Corsicana, Texas. And potentially more. That's right now. This is an ongoing weather event. There could be more. They're predicting 5 inches of rain at the front end of this counterclockwise motion. And it looks like it's gaining strength through the Dallas area. This whole area could see several inches of rain just tonight. Incredible. Let's go back and check the real-time radar. tornado warning has been lifted for that area. Still got this flood concern. A lot of rain coming down in this area here, guys. Definitely keeping an eye out, though, for tornadoes. These storms are very capable of producing tornadoes. Very capable. In fact, I want to hop on. We're going to go over to Dallas real quick. Just hang on tight. Here we go. RST, alphabetical order. Here we go. We're going to go to KFWS, see if we can get a little better. See, it's right in that tough spot where we can't. Let's go to Shreveport. That's where I was, at Shreveport. Fort Smith. Go up top. Arkansas. Where are you at, Arkansas? Right there. Let's see if we get a little better look. There we go. Not bad. Just watching for these tornadoes. It's raining cats and dogs in these areas. Maybe I can go to Springfield, Missouri. That's in the Ozarks area. Let's check it out. Yeah, we can catch Springfield. Gonna hop a ride on their radar. There we go. Nothing severe, at least with regard to high winds or large hail, but there's heavy rain moving through the area. Fort Leonard Wood, Rolla, Cuba. Little storm system right there south of Warsaw. Gonna hop back down to the Shreveport, Louisiana area, where we did have 2 tornado warnings at the same time. And right there it is. That's not bad. Sometimes these radars, that's why that radar we saw up in Canada that was 500 miles wide. You see what I mean? If it was 500 miles wide, we wouldn't have this issue of trying to jump around and hop on different radars. I mean, hell, it'd cover the entire state. 2 states in some cases. Right now, flash flooding in multiple counties covering multiple communities. Severe thunderstorm warning through Arkadelphia. Half-inch hail, which that's nothing you guys haven't dealt with before. Half-inch hail near Murfreesboro. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for another 11 minutes as these storms move to the north, northwest, then west, and then back to the southwest. They're moving counterclockwise. Got a new squall line forming right here. It's very energetic. New squall line coming up from east of Shreveport. Look at that counterclockwise motion. That is a big storm. Big storm. Sulphur Springs. I've gotten pictures from that area. Sulphur Springs. That would be over in Texas. Yeah. Sulphur Springs, Texas. Tyler, Texas. Got an acquaintance over in Tyler. I've gotten pictures from. There's Pittsburgh. Is that really Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh, Texas, huh? I learn something new every time I come on here. Not every once in a while, every time. Pittsburgh, Texas. I did not know it existed. Hello, Pittsburgh, Texas. All right. Watching out for tornado warnings, guys. In the meantime, we'll hop back here in just a second. Heavy rain, some high winds in some areas. Obviously lightning, very energetic storms that are capable of producing rotating cells. There were a couple of, actually there's been 3 tornado warnings so far. But here's what we've got going on. This is at least what I believe. I'm not the oracle of knowledge when it comes to hurricanes, but I have followed them for a long, long time. Look at these storms down here. Look at that row of storms. It's going to be a hot year. I'm telling you, it's going to be a busy hurricane season. I feel it. All right, this is what I was looking at. See the orange? That's the tropical zone. That's where the hurricanes typically form, in that orange belt. And that's the tropics. That's where the sun shines. It's either above the equator or below the equator. This time of year, the sun is moving above the equator. The direct sunlight. And you're already seeing rotation now over here in the eastern Pacific. It's going to be busy. And these waters, here's the thing. Look at that. 88 degrees. And that spans for hundreds, if not thousands of miles around the equator. That's what we've got going on over here. Look, 88 degrees. And there's a massive storm that's going to fill the Bay of Bengal over here. And it's a little early. That storm's about 2 weeks early. The storm season in the Bay of Bengal, it's not real specific like it is over in the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean over here. But it's very early for this time of year. They happen, but not very often. But when you've got water temperature of 88 degrees, spanning basically the entire equator in the northern hemisphere, it's going to be a busy year. No doubt about it. We've got one right here off the southeast coast of Florida in the Bahamas right now. A low pressure system, but it's these warm waters. Get down here south of Cuba and the Caribbean, 84. Probably higher than that. Over here it's 88, 87, 86. And the sun is just now coming to town. These waters are going to get warmer. Much warmer probably. Unreal. It's going to be a very, at least potentially, nobody knows for sure. But I'm just saying, the components are there. Components are definitely there. Here at windy.com. It's one of my favorites for checking things out. This storm system right here, last night, dove down through Texas. Now it's stalled in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's retreating backwards. It's just bizarre. And we've got this over here to the right, over above the Bahamas. That could turn into I guess, at best, maybe a tropical storm. Yeah, it's not going to be a hurricane. Hey, no way. It's got too many things against it, and I'll show you what I mean. There's no way that's going to be a hurricane. If it is a hurricane, I would be very, very surprised. This one here. See, it might clip, that's what I was talking about. It might clip North Carolina, maybe. But again, I don't think it's going to be much. I think it might be a named storm, but watch. I'll show you what I mean. See, right now it's in an ideal zone. It's in a favorable zone. See the green lines? That's the absence of wind shear. The red lines, especially up off the coast of New Jersey and New York, I mean, you've got wind shear in the 70 and 60 range. That's going to be very difficult for any type of a storm to hang in. It's going to get blown over, basically. So, no, I would be very surprised if it even became a named storm. But there it is. What it's going to do, I don't know. It's in fairly warm water. Those waters right there, especially in the Gulf Stream, are well above 80 degrees. So, we'll have to wait and see. Got the storm over here in the Gulf of Mexico that we can actually see on here, too. That's creating the flooding conditions up in Texas and the Central Plains. Got Michelle Wise asked a question about the two comets, the comet conjunction coming up. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's mystifying. We're living in very interesting times, guys. No joke. We're going to have two comets basically converging on the sun at the same time. You've got one that's a four-headed comet, basically. That's Comet Atlas. That comet now is a four-headed comet. It's basically what you got. It comes from the Great Comet of 1844. So when it was dismissed, remember, it was dismissed basically a month ago. Oh, it fell apart, it fragmented. That really didn't mean anything. It just means it's four pieces now instead of one. That's what its predecessor did. It fell apart and became the Great Comet of 1844. Are you serious? I didn't write that comet off. I've been watching it every day. No, it's going to be a showstopper. It's going to be. I've been waiting for it to come on the space satellites so we can watch it, you know. It's difficult to see from my location because I have too much light pollution. But a lot of people are still getting good pictures of it, especially Comet Swan. Whoa. So, yeah, interesting times indeed, no doubt. But they're coming. It's a four-headed comet. Four heads. Not the four horsemen, the four-headed comet. So, come from the Great Comet of 1844, and it basically did the same thing. And it just actually, once it got close to the sun, you know, it just put on a show. Put on a show. So we'll see, you know, it may not do anything, but I think it's going to. Definitely. Swan already is. And it's first trip. First time in. First time in. Wow, Murfreesboro getting some very heavy rain. Amity, where we at? We're in Arkansas right now, just south of Hot Springs, where they're getting some very heavy rain too. That storm over in the Bay of Bengal, west of Myanmar, east of India, it's called Amphan. It's the very first storm. It's already a named storm. Man, that's going to be a rainmaker like they've never seen. Oh, wow. It's just got the potential, let's put it that way. It's got the potential. It's got all the tools it needs to become a major rainmaker. Wow. And it's I strongly feel it's going to be a Harvey type of event. Very, very much so. All right, what do we got going on over here in northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, over in northeastern Texas, and southeastern Oklahoma? The big wheel in the sky is turning. Look at it. Turning counterclockwise like a big, big superstorm. It's going to bring a lot of rain, I do know that. Hopefully no tornadoes, but anytime we see storm activity like this, and we can, we're going to hop on here and follow the storms. If you guys want to follow them with us, that's great. But ever since that, here's Nashville. What? Where's that at? Nashville, Arkansas? Really? I didn't know that. All right. Mineral Springs. I've gotten photos from Mineral Springs. Some good photos, in fact. I remember most of the places you guys send me photos. You maybe think I don't, but I do. Because I type the names on every photo. I do them myself. And I apologize to those of you that have sent photos and I haven't gotten to your emails, because I know there's a lot of you out there, and I apologize for that. But I get several hundred a day, and it's impossible for me to go through them all. So I go through what I can. Just keep them coming. Keep them coming. I really appreciate them. I do. It's a lot of work to put together just one slideshow. It takes me about 4 hours to do. There's Sulphur Springs, but I wouldn't have it any other way. It's fun. You guys, you're showing us the world. Or at least I try to. I'm just the messenger. You guys keep them coming. I'll do my best to get to them. Okay, we got another. Look at all these flash flood warnings. Wow, here's another one. This is a new one. And I'm not surprised, especially eastern Texas. There it is, flash flood warning. It's underway. It's basically what it's telling us. Let's see. Fort Worth, National Weather Service out of Fort Worth, Texas. Flash flood warning for, check this out, Rains County. It's raining in Rains County very heavily. That's in north central Texas until 10 p.m. tonight. At 6:54 p.m., Doppler radar and automated rain gauges indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. Between, here we go, 1 and 3 inches of rain have fallen, and the flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. And I believe it. Additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches are possible, on top of the 1 to 3 that have already fallen. So you're looking anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain, possibly 2 to 5 inches of rain in that area, probably quite easily. So if it all comes down very, very quickly, none of the water managing vehicles like creeks and storm drains, and they get overwhelmed and they flood. The water has nowhere to go but up. So a lot of flooding. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 just in the Arkansas, Texas, even southeastern Oklahoma area. Big wide area of flash flood warnings up north of Little Rock. Flash flood warning. That one expires in 13 minutes. I'm kind of surprised. Then there's one just above that. It expires in 2 hours and 43 minutes. National Weather Service out of Little Rock, Arkansas. Flash flood warning for Stone County, Van Buren County, and western Cleburne County until 10:15 p.m. local time. Heavy rains of up to 1 inch has already fallen. And how much more can they expect? An additional 2 to 3 inches of rain are possible in the warned area over the next 3 hours. And I believe every bit of that's going to come, if not more. So 2 to 3 inches more of rain in central Arkansas. Probably at minimum from the looks of these storms. They are rainmakers. Don't see any tornadoes right now, but I can see a long line. See that squall line right there? Headed to the north-northwest. You've got one here moving to the northeast. Got one over here moving to the west. Big center of rotation anchored over like Tyler, Texas, right in here. That's where it's anchored. They're right in the eye of this thing. Longview, White House. I've gotten pictures from Appleby, Nocodoshes, Grapeland. You guys are on it. You guys are always taking pictures of the sky. Henny Kenner sends me pictures from Texas all the time in his big rig. Big storms moving through Texarkana, Oklahoma. Getting cranked up in Louisiana. Big storm over in the Bay of Bengal that's probably going to be reminiscent. In fact, to me, it reminds me a lot of Harvey. That looks like the rebirth of Hurricane Harvey. No joke. That storm right there reminds me a lot of Harvey. We'll see. Hopefully it won't, but we got this thing now going up to Category 3. It wouldn't be surprising at all to see that become a Category 4 within the next 24 hours. Category 4 storm is what I see, but we'll have to wait and see. But it's got everything in its favor. Everything's favorable right now. But you know how weather is. Weather can change at any time. But I saw this over here a couple of days ago, and I was actually quite surprised. I had to look twice. I was like, no. Then I was like, oh no, here it comes already. It was like May 14th. And I didn't do a report on it because actually I didn't think it was going to do anything. It's too early. But I knew those waters were way more than warm enough. The conditions were just super conducive for a tropical storm. Unbelievable. Already starting. They're expanding down. We got tall storms going down through Mexico. A lot of energy on the loose in through here, guys. No joke. It's going to be a busy year. If you're in these areas here, coastal Mexico, coastal Texas, coastal Louisiana, obviously Mississippi, Florida Panhandle, Alabama's got the Mobile area along the coast, but you don't have to be right on the coast. Anywhere in here, Florida, know all about it. Was in 3 hurricanes back in 2004. Boom, boom, boom. Went right over my head. 3 hurricanes in 1 year. That's what it reminds me of one of those type of years. It definitely does. I think it's going to be a year like that. I remember it started off with one hanging around off the coast. Came a little early if I recall right. And then there was just one after another after another. So we'll see. But this is a very interesting storm we've got going on right here. Big counterclockwise rotation. Again, anchored over the Texarkana area. Northeastern Texas, bringing massive amounts of rain with it. Big rainmaker. It did have some tornadoes earlier, at least some tornado warnings. Clouds were producing rotation. Don't know if any made it to the ground or not. Hopefully not. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that's quite often. To have rotation in the clouds, it doesn't make it to the ground, and that's a good thing. That is a good thing. There, we just had an update. Where did it update at? It could be anywhere on this map in the Central Plains, Arkansas. Oh, it updated up around the St. Louis area. Maybe we should go up there and check that out, huh? I think that'd be a great idea. Here we go. KLSX. Wow. Springfield, Taylorville, Lincoln. Areas getting heavy rain right now. Rushville, got some moderate rain going on there. Jacksonville, heavy rain moving through the area. Concord, Arnsville. There's Barry, New Canton on the far edge of the storm. Looks like there's flash flood warnings in these areas. And that's right along the Illinois-Mississippi River. That would be the Illinois River, I believe. There we go. Whitehall, Root House. Of course, St. Louis. Big line of storms moving through that area. Now these are moving due north, slightly northeast. These are on the northern edge of that big counterclockwise rotation. Pouring down rain up through there. But no tornadoes as of yet. Hopefully it'll stay that way. Just heavy rain, and we've all experienced that. What do we got going on here? Flash flood warning expires in 5 minutes. I'll probably extend that to the north. Where we got here? Doppler radar indicated heaviest rain has moved out of the Springfield, Lincoln area, Sangamon, and eastern Morgan counties. Illinois Route 104, that's where I saw a tornado in that area right there. Saw one come down and touch down in that area. They've received 1.5 to 3 inches of rain. Could receive another 1/2 inch to 1 inch later on this evening. So it's been raining profusely in this area. Torrential rain, creating flash flooding. Looks like it's really raining hard in the St. Louis area too. This is a big storm that was moving south last night. Now all this energy has stopped, turned around, and went back to the north. Unreal. So it looks like it's going to quiet down a little bit in that area for a while. But there's more on the way. So let's be ready. Now starting to extend over here into Nebraska. Springfield, their flash flood warning at Springfield, Illinois. This extends for a few hundred miles. Wide areas of flash flood warnings, flash flood watches. Like I said, the Springfield area has gotten 3 inches. Could receive another inch of rain. I think they're well equipped. They can handle it probably. I would say so. I've been in that area in very heavy rain before. And they did all right. Let's go to, let's go back to, I'm trying to catch one of these radars so we can get a good view. Let's see here. How about, see what's going on in Fort Smith. There we go. I think we can kind of get a bird's eye. There we go. Fort Smith. Severe thunderstorm warning expires in 33 minutes. National Weather Service out of Little Rock, Arkansas, northern Clark County, northeastern Pike County, southwestern Garland, southwestern Hot Spring County, and Montgomery County until 8:15 p.m. Moving north at 25 miles per hour, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are possible, and penny-sized hail at minimum. A tornado watch remains in effect until 9 p.m. for the Hot Springs area, and that would include Arkadelphia, and Nashville. That would be Nashville, Arkansas. Nashville, Arkansas area. Heavy rain. Ozark, Fort Smith, Boonville, Paris. Hey there. Paris, Arkansas. Learn something new every time we come on here and chase storms. Big, heavy rain moving through the area, the Central Plains. Arkansas is where we're at right now, near Fort Smith. In fact, that's where the radar is located, just outside of Fort Smith. Don't see any tornadoes. That's the main thing I'm watching for is tornadoes. It's raining hard all through this area. In fact, here we're watching it on windy. We're watching it on the Go 16. Just a big freak-looking storm that rolled through the area last night. I watched it go through Texas, and I kept waiting on tornadoes because it looked like it was going to be tornadic. You can see how it's kind of put on the brakes in the Gulf of Mexico. Now it's drifting east, and the tail of that thing is drifting back to the north and counterclockwise. Look at that thing. It doesn't know what it wants to do. Look at that. It's a freak storm. It's going to bring boatloads of rain to that area. It's really just getting started. Just getting started. Let's go back down to the Texas area real quick. Keep an eye on the east of Dallas. I think it's Corsicana or Corsicana. Corpus Christi. East of Waco. Could see 5 inches of rain tonight. Easy. Maybe 6. Here we go. Let's do Dallas. Yeah, here it comes. Coming in counterclockwise, and it's going to rain for quite a while. Big, heavy rains moving in. But the good thing about it, at least right now, no tornadoes. Here's a river and creek flooding reported at 5:30 local time. Yards, basements, rivers, and creeks overflowing. That's near Idabel, just north of Clarksville, Texas. Yeah, Clarksville, Texas. Right near Texarkana. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. 6 flash flood warnings underway, and we'll probably see many more before the evening's over. Gonna hop back down to Little Rock. We got a pretty good view from Little Rock right now. Just trying to follow this energy as it's moving north, as it's moving northwest. See, now it's pouring over in the Clarksville area where just 15 minutes ago it was actually pretty clear. So they'll probably issue some, maybe some flood warnings in that area. That's Clarksville, Arkansas. Heavy showers through the Hot Springs Village area, Hot Springs, Glenwood, Arkadelphia. Looks like a little bit of hail through there, but not anything you guys haven't dealt with before. Half inch, that's not a big deal. Still, it'll put dents in your car if your car's sitting outside, or at least it could. It's those baseball-size hails, which these storms are not tall enough yet to produce baseball-size hail. I don't think they'd have to go up there pretty high. These aren't that tall, but these are rain makers. Very moisture overloaded, very, very heavy rain. What's this here? Dense fog. Look at that. You serious? Dense fog been reported up in Bull Shoals. Let's read about it. Reduced visibility, dense fog at 4:51 p.m. in the Bull Shoals area. That would be in northern Arkansas. That's something I don't see on here too often. Dense fog being reported. Heavy rain, hail. It's drizzle to downpours. It just depends on where you're at. But there are loads of, looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning that expires in 27 minutes for immediate broadcast by the National Weather Service out of Little Rock, Arkansas. Severe thunderstorm warning for Clark, Pike, Garland, Hot Springs, and Montgomery County until 8:15 p.m. 60-mile-an-hour winds are possible. Penny-sized hail. This will be between mile markers 60 and 87 on Interstate 30. Tornado watch remains in effect until 9 p.m. For your protection, move to an interior room or the lowest floor of a building. That's if a tornado warning were to be issued by the National Weather Service, which there is not right now. You don't want to go there if it's flooding by any means, especially the lowest level. You want to go up. But if there's a tornado warning, yeah, inside, no windows for sure. Big rain. It's going to do this for the next few hours, guys. If you're in these areas of Arkansas, East Texas, Southeast Oklahoma, Southwestern Missouri. In fact, most of Missouri, central Missouri, extending up into the Chicago area, believe it or not. At least some form of rain, whether it be a complete deluge or a little bit. You're going to see something. But right here where we've got this counterclockwise rotation, it's going to come down in buckets. No joke. Anywhere from 2 inches to 5 inches of rain, maybe 6 inches. Potential for flash flooding quite easily in these areas. And we were talking about this named storm here, Amphan. It's in the Bay of Bengal. I think it's going to be a doozy. Probably going to be reminiscent of Harvey. It's a slow mover. Even when it gets up here in what are we looking at? 36 hours. It's going to move less than 100 miles. These outer bands are already producing rain in these areas. So it moves 100 miles, becomes a Category 2, and just sits there. And it just rains and rains and rains. And then it moves 100 miles in one day. And then rains and rains and rains. It's going to be unbelievable. Unbelievable scene over there. Wow, that's going to be a big storm. And that's in the northern hemisphere above the equator, so we can probably expect that type of activity. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Absolutely. Already got one here over the Bahamas headed up the east coast. Will it be a named storm? You know what? It could be. Right now it's just a low pressure system that's attempting to get organized north of the Bahamas, or right over the Bahamas, really. Will it? Here it is right here. I don't know. It could. It could become a tropical depression, I think, pretty easy. Will it affect the East Coast? I honestly doubt it. I'm just being honest. I don't think so. Might stir up some waves. I doubt if you'll even see any rain from it. There's going to be more rain over here in the Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana area from this freak storm over here. And this one's kind of considered a freak storm because it's only May 16th. And we're already seeing tropical storms form in the Bahamas. So yeah, it's going to be a busy year. You bet. If you're along the coast, I'd go ahead and get my stuff now. Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. I guarantee you that. So get her now and get it done. And you can just kick back and relax. I've seen those lines form for plywood. I've seen people take generators out of cars at the gas station because they didn't prepare. They weren't ready. So just go ahead and do it now. It's a whole lot easier. And if the shelves go empty at the store, well, you're good, man. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Prepare now. That way you don't have to do it later. And if you don't need it, well, save it for next year if you can. If not, use it. Depends on what it is. Big rain moving through, guys. Hot Springs area. Rain coming down at a pretty good rate, according to the radar. At a pretty good rate. Oh, hey, Amber. Hey, Joni. And R. Guile. What's up, guys? Thanks a lot. I appreciate the super chat. I just looked over and saw that. Appreciate it. Super chat. Getting some super rain here from these super cells. They're starting to get a little taller, these right here. And if you notice, the taller they get, the bigger the hail gets. Make that connection. The taller the storms are, the bigger the hail. These storms are not that tall. They're low soakers is what they are. They're carrying a lot of water. That's why they're not so tall. The taller storms carry a lot of wind, you see, and those are the ones that can drop down twisters. The big super soakers, they don't have a whole lot of lift. That's a lot of weight. Think about all the water that's in those clouds, the moisture and condensation. That's why they don't go up too tall. Those tall boys, they produce the big hail. Yeah, they lift the high winds is what lifts the moisture up. These don't have the high wind component because they're too overloaded with moisture. There's a little bit of high wind here and there, but more than likely this is just going to be a big rain event. Early on, we had a couple of actually 3 tornado warnings in these areas here of Arkansas and parts of, it was mainly Arkansas. But none right now, which is good. We don't want any. We just kind of got a handle on what these storms are doing, and that's what they are. They're just low, super moist soakers is what they are. They're going to be a lot of heavy rain through these areas. A lot of heavy rain, and like there's reporting here, flash flooding for sure in widespread areas. But all the water ends up going to one place. It finds its way back to the Mississippi River through creeks and streams and other smaller rivers. Make its way down through Dallas, through the Trinity River. Then the big spillway gets full and they have to drain the water because it's about to overflow. We've seen that before. I'm not saying it's going to happen now, but that Trinity River in Dallas is huge. And I've seen it at full capacity. And I know some of you listening have seen it at full capacity too. That is a big drink of water, that Trinity River. And that's where some of this rain is going to go. It's going to flow into that river, the Mississippi. It's got to go somewhere, and that's normally where it goes, through those big drainage systems. Those are the natural drainage systems. And then we got man-made drainage systems in the cities that can't keep up. Not with 3-inch per hour rain rates. Ain't no city in America that keep up with that. It's coming down too fast. And not any creeks are going to keep up too long. But that Trinity River in Dallas is big. That's where a lot of this rain's going to go. So it'll probably rise a little bit. I don't see anything new with regard to, well, wait a minute, here's a severe, that expires. We've already seen that one. That's north of Arkadelphia in the Glenwood, Hot Springs area. More than likely, that's going to move up towards Fort Smith. I don't know if it'll have the severe component or not. It might have, but right now you can see it's just a very heavy wet rain event. These clouds are too rain saturated. There's too much VIL, vertical integrated liquid. They're too dense. They're not going to get up real tall. That's why you don't see the bright oranges on here. I mean, you're starting to see a little bit right there in a few places because they've drained all the water. So they're trying to reach up into the higher parts of the atmosphere, but they're not going to get up too tall, or they'd already done it, you know. Too heavy, too wet. So they're going to stay low. They're low riders. Low rider. That storm over here? No. Yeah, it's a big low rider, but you see that inner core? You see that reaching up into those very high altitudes? That's what that white is and that light pink. That thing right there is going to be an overachiever. Yes, sir. That is going to be an overachiever. People over there need to be ready. It's already raining there, and it's days away from making landfall. Unreal. We're going to see storms like that this year. I don't know. Nobody knows if any are going to make landfall here in the U.S. That's impossible to say. But are the conditions going to be favorable for the formation of those types of storms? You betcha. Absolutely. For several weeks on end. So it's a pretty good chance one could make landfall. Sure. Could be multiples, like that one year. Like I said, I had 3 go over my head. One right after another. They were just weeks apart. Charlie, Francis, and Jean, hurricanes, 2004. Went right over my head. By the time Jean went through, everything was tore up. So it didn't do any damage. The first one did. So that's what I'm feeling one of those years. You got warm tropics already above 80 degrees, 88 in some areas. In fact, 88 in a lot of areas. So that's just primer. That's just fuel that's just waiting to be used. It's basically what's going on right here. Check it out for yourself. Where we at? There we go. See temperature. These areas here in bright orange, those are the tropics. And they're supposed to be warm, but they're very warm already. You know, like right here, for instance, there's a good example. 88 degrees. You can see there already rotation right there and just clouds. Get over here into the Caribbean. And this is where this storm's setting here, trying to get organized. What's the temperature? 79 degrees there. 80 degrees there. It's a Gulf Stream 81. This is the area that Dorian went through, last year? Dorian went right through here and stalled. Unreal. But these temperatures are already conducive for not tornadoes, for hurricanes. Already. And it's only May. So the sun's got to journey all the way up until June 21st and then go all the way back. And that's usually the mechanics behind the June through November hurricane season, air quotes, you know. It's the sun. It's the path of the sun. By the time the sun makes its way back, it's got the water warmed up enough to generate hurricanes and typhoons. Water's already warm enough, guys. It's already warm enough, and you can see one starting to sputter right over here. Yeah, it's already warm enough, so it's on. As far as I'm concerned, season's already started. It's here. So you need to prepare now. Need to prepare now for hurricanes, and like I said, it's best to prepare and not need it, man, and then to not prepare and need it. Well, thank you, Christos. That's very kind of you. I just looked over, guys. I'm watching multiple monitors here. Thank you, Christos. That's very kind. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, hurricane season's already started. Those waters are very, very warm. All the way around the tropics, around the whole Earth. Most of them are above 85, 84, some cases 88, 89. Unreal. So what we've got going on here, guys, we're in the Arkansas area. That's kind of the northern edge of this center of rotation that we've been following, right? Where's it at? See if I can find it. Boy, this has been another one here. I watched that last night on radar for several hours as it moved through Texas. Just a weird type of a storm, you know? There it goes right here. It was like a flaming asteroid or something going through the Central Plains and diving into the Gulf of Mexico. It's probably what the dinosaurs saw, huh? Right in that same area, right? But no, the tail end of this thing is dropping copious moisture in Arkansas right now, southeastern Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, up into central Illinois, getting very, very heavy rain. Louisiana, it's covering multiple states. This is the part here that kind of anchored and is turning counterclockwise, or at least it's trying to, and so is this one over here. That could be a named storm. Very active in the tropics right now, the subtropics, very, very active. Probably going to be a busy year. The old Hurricane Center. That would be Tropical Depression 1. That's where we're at, the National Hurricane Center, and they're keeping a close eye on this. I see the central pressures dropped to 1,006, which is still very minimal, but it could become a tropical storm. In fact, they're calling for a tropical storm watch has been issued for portions of North Carolina. Tropical storm force winds and heavy rains are possible on Monday. You can see right there what they've got. They're looking like this is going to be a tropical storm. Dangerous coastal surf conditions. Rip currents are expected. Yeah, those are something you always got to be aware of. Rip currents are expected to spread northward from Florida to the mid-Atlantic states during the next several days. And here's what they're calling for with the storm off of the coast, the eastern coast. See it right there? Hurricane season started. That's tropical storm force winds already. And it's mid-May. Mid-May. Here's the cone of probability. This is the track. They've got an S on there. That means tropical storm. If there was a D there, it would be tropical depression. So not expected to reach hurricane status. However, you can see the path right there. It could affect North Carolina as a tropical storm. And that's a 3-day, wait a minute, that's a, I don't know how many days we're looking at here. That's a 5-day forecast. Up till Tuesday at 2 p.m. So don't look for it to become a hurricane, but look for high winds, especially coastal North Carolina. I think Florida, it's not going to do anything there. Maybe some rain in the Jersey area. Quite possibly some high winds. Nothing issued yet as far as storm warnings or wind warnings. A little bit, just barely. See what I mean? Monday and Tuesday, by then it'll go out to the North Sea like they all do. And what direction do they go? They go towards the pole, North Pole. Yeah. The ones in the southern hemisphere, they go towards the South Pole. That's what they do. That's what really kind of steers these things in the end, is the poles. Then it slings them back around. So, big storm brewing in the Bay of Bengal. Anybody in that area, it's going to be a rain-making event like they've probably never seen in many, many years. That storm's got all the tools it needs to become an extreme overachiever. No joke. No joke. Thank you, great. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Rub, Minnesota. What's up? Appreciate the super chat. I know I didn't pronounce that right, but I tried. Great. RUBBMN. Thank you, guys. Right now we are in central Arkansas, watching this counterclockwise rotating storm, bringing copious rain to the Central Plains. Multiple flash flood warnings in effect in Arkansas, eastern Texas. Flooding is underway, at least flash flooding. And it's going to rain for the next few hours, guys. The storm's kind of set in for the long haul. These are big, slow-moving, just soakers. They're not going to reach up into the higher altitudes. I just don't see it. They could, but I think they started out. They just got too moist. These are waterlogged storms. They're waterlogged. They're not gonna. I'm not gonna say not, because they can do anything. Weather's unpredictable. In most cases, it can be unpredictable. But these are waterlogged, very waterlogged. They're moisture heavy, so they're not going to rise up and get real crazy. I don't think. They could here and there. I mean, there's always that chance. But I don't think so. They're very waterlogged storms. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to wrap this up because I don't see any tornadoes or even any severe weather warnings at the moment, except for flash flooding, which it's going to be raining for a while, but I don't see anything on the severe side with regard to tornadoes or large hail or high winds. I mean, anything could happen. I'm getting a request to look at Comet Atlas. Yeah, I can look at Comet Atlas. Sure. I've been looking at Comet Atlas. I just haven't been talking about it too much. And I do look into the moon position, and I saw it was way south the other day. Of course I did. Soul Group, I did. It was way, way south. Sure, I saw it. I sure did. And I saw the moon the other night when it wasn't full, and it was supposed to be. I got pictures of it. I just didn't talk about it. See, I'm a watchman. I do watch, and I watch what the heck goes on. Just because I don't talk about it all the time doesn't mean I didn't see it. And yes, I saw the moon the other night when it went unfull for about 30 minutes. I saw it because I had the camera on it. Somebody else saw it too. It wasn't just me. So the moon was supposed to be in full mode, and for some reason it wasn't. But it still had enough light on it to where when you were photographing it, it was difficult to see that very slight shadow, the crescent, and it was on the right-hand side between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Actually, 1 o'clock and 6 o'clock. There was a slight crescent for 30 minutes. Did you see that? I did. So yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I've never seen the moon do that. But it did, and somebody else saw it too. So, anyway, yeah, I watched the moon pretty close, guys. All right, big flooding, or at least potential flooding. Look for another 2 to 3 inches tonight in some of these areas. 5 inches total, maybe more, close to the 6-inch range in eastern Texas, southwestern Arkansas, northwestern Louisiana. And these showers are extending all the way up in through the central plains. Got a big hurricane already forming right there. We're getting multiple readings right now with regard to the predicted central low pressure. I've seen models showing the central low pressure of the storm right now over in the Bay of Bengal as low as 935. I mean, that's in the Hurricane Harvey range. Easy. But again, it depends on, its forward movement. Like right now, it's pretty much at a crawl. It's moving at about 3 miles per hour. And you can see the outer bands are already extending up. Well, by the time this thing gets up to Category 2 force, it's going to get even stronger. Category 3, I fully expect it to be Category 4. I really do. It's sitting in bathwater, and it's May. Unreal. Look for a busy season, guys. No joke. It's going to be busy. Too many things in its favor. So look for a busy hurricane season. Busy flooding tonight, though, in parts of eastern Texas. Again, Oklahoma, especially Arkansas, Missouri, extending all the way up into parts of Chicago. You can see it going all the way up into Canada. Big line of heavy rain. These are very wet, waterlogged clouds. Don't look for any tornadoes. They're super soakers. And that's probably what we're going to see all night. Flash flood warnings and watches for the next several hours. All right, guys. I'm going to call it a night. Make sure we're all good over here. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.